review UK Europe edition or UK EU edition since the breakup. Such a sad breakup that the Brits had with our friends in Europe, and tragically and economically horrible decision. But, life goes on. Welcome to America. So, we are going to talk with screenwriter, and the reason we're talking about so much about the UK, Amanda Graham, because she is in the UK. So we're going to talk to her. We'll find out if she's from the UK. I think she's from the UK, but you never know. We'll find out. And otherwise, I have a little quick promo to roll in, and then we will get the party started.
Hey there. I just wanted to take a quick break and quickly say if you like this program or any of our programming, you can support us. You can sponsor us. We have a mission here, and our mission is to bring voices to live streaming and to the world that don't normally get heard. If you check my Instagram and check the story about Olivia Robinson, you can see what I'm talking about. But I would really appreciate it if you could go to the sponsor page. I've got information there, and sponsor me. You can do it right here on Haps, $5 a month, $50 a month, $10 a month, whatever you're comfortable with. But support our work and support this kind of programming. I think it's important, and I hope you do too.
Well, all right. Support all of the creators on Haps, not just me. Support all the creators on Haps. You can sponsor folks by going to their profile page, which I urge you to do. I think that's always a great thing. There will be quite a few people watching this on replay, I suspect. So if you want to leave a comment, you can do so. You will have to become a member of Haps. But the cool thing about that is you could also broadcast yourself, and it is easy to do. Without further ado, and I don't know, maybe we'll be packed full of, I don't know. We're going to talk about writing a lot, I suspect. And there was anyway, the certain thing I was trying to think about, and it just wasn't coming to me. All right, let's do this. Amanda Graham, how are you?
Hi, it's fantastic to be here. I'm very excited, Rev. And I'm excited to talk about all things the UK. Obviously, with my accent, you can tell I'm totally from England. And, no, I am. And moved back here quite a while ago, 23 years. So I'm totally allowed to talk about Brexit or any of the other stuff you want to talk about.
So wait, did you live across the pond for a while or something?
Yeah. No, I just do a really good American accent. It's on the CV.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can, your your English accent, when I just talked to you earlier, is not very thick, as they say. So,
it's so funny. I cannot do an English accent to save my life. I was born here. I've been back here 23 years, and I cannot do an English at all.
That's hilarious.
That's all I can do. So
Gillian Anderson has made a career lately out of speaking in a British accent, but she's been living there for quite a while, actually, too. So she's had good training for it. I can't. Hey, Pablo! Hello from Los Angeles, Pablo. Great to see you, buddy.
Hey.
Pablo is our. Pablo is the. I think he's the community manager. I don't want to get the wrong title, but he's a big deal and he's an awesome guy, and he's crucial to have. So great. Thanks for stopping by, Pablo. And hopefully we'll have Amanda. Maybe she'll come on here herself and do some screenwriting stuff on Haps. So maybe we can talk her into it. But the accents. I used to. Well, here's the funny thing, right? It's not funny, but a white guy really can't do any accents anymore other than like maybe Russian guy, like who's going to get mad if I do a Russian accent. What, another Russian? Maybe they're a mafia member. Possibly they want to shoot me, but like they're not going to say anything because like we're both like Caucasoids, we both Caucasians. But accents, outside of that, or an Irish accent or an English accent, Scottish accent, I used to have a whole bevy of accents when I was, younger. But I'm trying to refine my English accent, and I'm terrified of it because now I have English friends.
You should you should be, and they will judge you. They will judge you
I
so
know they will
harshly.
judge me. I know they will judge me. And I love the fact that so many of these actors, like the guy from The Walking Dead, is
Yeah,
like
Andrew
Australian.
Lincoln.
Yeah,
Oh, wait,
Jamie Bamber from Jamie Bamber from Battlestar Galactica. Like he's an Aussie, I think. Like you guys, they get this American accent down pat, and the I think the Southern accent is easier to do,
yes.
but because what I would have would be a Midwestern accent, which tends
Yeah.
to be fairly neutral across the
Mhm,
country,
mhm.
as opposed to, if I'm going to be down in Tennessee, there, that's probably going to be a little bit of a thicker accent. But then if I get way down there, down in like Alabama, well, my goodness, that's going to be totally different even than Tennessee. So I know that a lot of English actors, can do the Southern accent, but man, when you can just pull off a plain old American accent and you lived there for 23 years, that's what it takes. I think, in a lot of ways, it just takes some time. Maybe not 23 years.
And it's mad. It's like you could put you could put 1,000,000 pounds in front of me, and I wouldn't be able to do it. It's really frustrating. My son said, he said, "Mom, just," because he makes fun of me, right? He's so
Uh-huh.
annoying because he can do any accent. He can hear one sentence and he can do any accent at all times. It's incredible. And he should do like a little YouTube video about it. And I can't do any. And he just said, "Mom, just put on your resume, that you can do a perfect American accent, and that will be fine. And then you'll just get hired to act in English stuff." Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
that's what I
Right.
did. So that's what I did.
Yeah. It's the way to go. I think I have a couple of people that are on my side that would love to do more stuff in England,
Yes.
and vice versa. Of course,
Mm.
writing, other than aluminium or whatever you guys call it, and Zed and a few other things. I mean, it's all English, so you can write for across the pond. How did you get into screenwriting?
Oh God, it's I always wanted to work in like TV, but I went a roundabout way. I was doing a PhD in medieval theology, as you do, and I dropped out of that and was like, well, what do I do next? I have no idea what to do with my life, and then I thought, well, my obsession is TV, so I'm just gonna, as you do, you just go, I'm gonna work in TV. So that's what I did, and I wanted to work in comedy right away. And my first interview for TV was I said, "This is what I want to do. I want to write comedy. I want to write scripts. That's my passion." And they went, "No, you belong. You belong." She just took one look at what I had studied at university, and she was like, "You belong in factual, documentaries and that kind of stuff." And so I said, "Okay." Right? Because when you're young, you just go okay to everything. And I started off in factual, and oh my God, Rev, like all of the cool kids were on the fourth floor of the building at the BBC, and I was on the fifth floor, and I just wanted so badly to be on the fourth floor, and so that was my journey to becoming a screenwriter. I had to do 2.5 years of stand up, which was horrific, by the way. Absolutely horrific. And but it really taught me a lot about like comedy writing, got me in the comedy world, and kind of smashed my chops basically. And then I got my first break in screenwriting off the back of that. An executive producer heard about me, and she said, "Send me your best 5 jokes." So I did, and then the next thing I knew, I was in a writer's room, like residential thing for a weekend, coming up with ideas for shows.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice, nice. Well,
Mm.
that sounds pretty good. Now, it's too bad that by the time you started screenwriting, that Monty Python was no longer doing feature length films set in medieval times because I mean, boom. You
I
could write,
know, right?
you could write that's what you need to do is write a comedic, medieval themed thing, and then we'll pitch it. And I,
I've got,
I got it.
like one of my dreams is to be on Horrible Histories, and I don't know how I'm going to do it because they're really like a tight knit group. Them, but that's like one of my
Uh huh.
dreams. Is I love
Ah,
Horrible Histories so much. It's the
well,
best.
I want to tell people that because it was so funny. I think I texted like 6 people, and if the gentleman who sent me the script is watching, thank you. And I am actively reading it, and I will shop it out to everybody that I know. But I'm laughing because I got my first script sent to me. I've been doing this now for about 9 months, and I don't know if that's too long or quick, because I know people will send a script, to your grandma if they think she could fund something. So
Yeah.
maybe they know I don't have any money, and that's why it took that long. But and I'm freezing up for some reason here, but I think you can hear me at least.
Oh
But
yeah, totally can hear you.
yeah. So anyway, I had to throw that in there because we're talking about all this stuff, like sending me a script to read, and 8 months ago, I wasn't even doing this. It's a fun place to be. Don't send me your scripts. I don't really know that many people. So,
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I would
but
just tell everybody who wants to be a scriptwriter, do not send your scripts to people you don't know without them asking for them or saying they're open for them, because that is a horrific thing to do, and chances are it will just be binned immediately for legal reasons or whatever. So, yeah, don't do that.
yeah, well, for me, it was just it's just a total honor, to be
Yes.
asked to read a script. Just a lowly little live streamer on a in a dark prefect of a far part of the universe.
Yeah.
And I'm going to reset the server here real quick, which means we're both going to blank out off the screen. Hang on,
Okay.
see if that helps. Because it's linking the audio. Hey, there
Okay.
I
There
am.
we go.
Ah, yes, as handsome as ever, said no
Because
one.
there is nothing worse than a live mic that you don't know is live, baby.
Oh,
Like I
I
think
love a
I've
hot
I've
fucking mic,
I've been in that situation so many times, just working in TV for 14 years. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And ooh, the presenters got like their little chest mic on when they go to the bathroom, or they're like kind of moaning about the makeup person or whatever else. So you just got to be careful with these things.
And I froze it again, but I did hear you say little. You didn't say
Yeah. Oh,
little, you said
right.
little,
Okay. Oh,
so you
right. Okay.
still got
That's
it
good.
in there
Yay. Okay.
occasionally. You still
Nice.
got it in there occasionally.
I'm gonna change my CV then to say I can do an English accent if that the script just involves the word little over and
If
over
the
again.
word little is
Yeah.
involved, I love it. Let me knock down my resolution and see if this is coming from my end. No?
I don't. Yeah, it's definitely not me because I'm like fiber optic broadband beast. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, no, I just ramped up the revolution resolution. Let's see. Um that makes a difference. But okay, so comedy and
Mhm.
screenwriting in England.
Yeah.
I mean, like, when usually to me, when I think of British humor, I kind of think of like, oh yeah, here we go. It You look at it on a piece of paper, and you're kind of, because it's pretty dry.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
English
100%.
English English humor is pretty dry, but the
Yeah.
English are incredibly funny, and I think part of that is because you're stuck on an island off the North Sea,
Yeah.
and it's pretty gloomy there. So you have to
It's
find.
grim.
I mean, other than sex, I think comedy, being funny, would be probably the number two,
Yeah.
uh, go to there. And I mean, if you've been married a long time, you might reverse it, but
Well, you'd have to, wouldn't you? But well, depends on how long you've been married for. But
yeah,
no, I
right.
mean maybe. I don't know. I guess it is grim. I mean, you think it's grim in England, but like the north of England, the northwest especially, is just it rains here just about every day. I'm not kidding. Like we get a little bit of a break in September, and then maybe a week or two in the summer we'll get a break. But it rains pretty much every day. So it's it's brutal. That's why so many bands come from. It's like bands and comedy people come from, the UK, like the Northwest or whatever, Manchester,
Hmm.
Liverpool, because there's nothing else to do. So
Right.
yeah,
Hang out
yeah.
in your garage.
Just write songs
Um,
about how much everything sucks.
well, I got to tell you, because a lot of the songwriters that I have on the program, singer songwriters, a lot of them pretty much just talk about, love and how that sucks. So
I
if you
don't know
have
what that is.
another angle, yeah, yeah, right. If you have another angle, that you can go at it from, that expands your repertoire
Yeah.
of songs. I mean, like really, like even in Manchester, like how much is there to sing about? And in fact, Morrissey, you might be old enough to remember Morrissey.
Yeah.
Um,
I met him once.
Anytime. Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Ah,
He
that
was a dick.
was he. Well, I was going to say, okay, was he a jerk or was he? Did he
Yeah,
seem
no.
depressed?
He
Because
was a
those.
dick, and he was a dick, and he made a kid cry who was about 18 and had followed him across the country, and this was the first time he had met him. But I have to say
Oh.
his band was amazing though. This was like just after he broke. This is just after he broke with, did
Uh huh.
his
Okay.
first solo album. And
Right.
the show was 45 minutes long.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I know. And then he did one
Woo.
encore. So the whole
Uh
show was
huh.
like 53 minutes long. And then at the hotel afterwards, he comes out. Actually, what happened was there was a group of like 8 of us or so, and and there was a parking garage right next to the hotel. Right, like there was a little
Hmm.
kind of thing where you would pull up, and
Little.
then
Yep.
there was a parking garage, and and somebody came out. We were waiting after the show, and somebody came out and said, "Morrissey's not coming out until you all leave." So we all hid in the car parking garage and waited for him to come out to to the bus. And then everybody pounced on him. But everybody being seriously like 8 people, and nobody was screaming or anything like that. But he was he was just a dick.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm not going to mention any names, but
Mm.
hey, do me a favor. In the upper corner above our little pictures, is there anything that says multicasting on your screen? I'm
Nope.
not sure what you see. So
Just you and me.
if you see your own image there, like your little profile picture,
Just in participants. Oh, do you mean way on the top on the
way on
top
the
right?
top right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah,
I want to make sure your friends and stuff know we're on, like on Twitter, because for some reason it got disconnected. So just click on it once,
yeah,
then right click on the settings so you don't go away from this page. All
yeah.
right. And then
Open new.
check on that page. Hold on a second. I'll do the same. This is how the sausage is made, folks. So hang on a second. Um, and then it'll
Okay.
open up, hopefully, to Haps, and it'll say notifications and
Yeah.
stuff. You want to go to socials and multicasting.
Okay.
And is Twitter connected or not?
Ah, it's saying connected. I already did connect, but I guess because we
Yeah,
refreshed it
try it
this time.
again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Sorry,
should be.
guys.
No,
This is
it
tech
shouldn't do
speak. It's
that.
really boring.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. I'll try to keep the crowd entertained out there because I could just focus on the word little for a while. And
Right.
but no, Morrissey. I want to get back to Morrissey. Oh my gosh, please!
Okay.
I love your music, Mr. Morrissey, but I am not surprised that you might have been a little dickish in your life.
Yeah, but I have
Uh,
to say, like honestly, like the band. So he left, and the kid was crying, and he was so upset. He was like, "I'm gonna throw away every album," and we were like, "Well, steady on. Let's not go crazy." And and then then some of the kids, so then the young kids left, and then the band came out and was like, "Dude, we're really sorry about that." That's not how they talked, obviously, but they said, "Do you
right.
want to come in the bar and have a
I said,
drink
look,
with
look,
us?"
come
So
over
we
here,
ended up
bloke. Look, I want to
drinking
tell you a little bit
them.
about Morrissey. Okay, he's a
Yeah,
bit of a dick, really, but he's really good, and we make a lot of money because we play with this arsehole. So yeah, okay, that was
yeah.
bad, but there we
You're
go.
gonna have to work on that accent.
I know.
That's
It's fine.
abysmal, right?
It's
But
fine.
anyways,
It
no,
is.
I'm just kidding, Rev. I'm just kidding. But uh, no. So that's what happened. But the band was really cool. You know what I mean? So that
Oh
was.
my
But
God! Like I love Morrissey. Like when I'm
I no.
depressed,
Oh my God, the Smiths were like everything. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I
oh
put on
my
a
God.
Smith song and I no longer feel depressed. Like if I feel like really bad, I just put on Girlfriend in a Coma. I'm like,
Yeah,
my life is not worse than Morrissey's. And
yeah,
that's cool, because
yeah,
I always perceive, I mean, like the dude is like depressed all the time. Like if
yeah.
they'd have put him on like, I don't know, some antidepressant and some Percocet, he probably would never be able to write a great song. He'd be so happy.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's entirely true. I have to say actually though, like it's I mean, I don't know. I think the Smiths are just kind of the perfect band, aren't they, when you're like 18, 19, 20 years, that just going to university, everybody hates me, going out to
Right.
the coffee shop or to the bar to try and hook up and then no one's there and it's so gloomy and depressing and awful. Like it's just perfect for that. Yeah, love it. But I love Manchester. I love Manchester music anyways. I moved over here because of that. Like it was really big when I moved back over here. And this I mean Happy Mondays and like there's just so many amazing bands that come from around here. In Spiral Carpets I love. So yeah.
Yeah, I so back to the writing a little bit.
Yes. Sorry. I talk about music
No,
all day.
no, 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 no. We can talk about music. We can talk about anything, literally. This is, this. It's like there used to be a show in America. Oh my gosh, This Is Your Life. I think it was called.
Oh
There's
yeah.
probably a British version, right? Might even have
There
been a
is.
British show first. And that's all this is, this is your life with a much more, handsome host. But otherwise, it's all about you for the show, so whatever you want to talk about. I know though that screenwriting, is kind of your forte.
Yes.
What is your what is your favorite thing that you've written that's been produced?
That's been produced.
Yeah.
I would say probably because my favorite thing that I've written is in development. So
Okay, well
I
that's
can't
that,
talk about.
okay. Well, you can't talk about that though. So,
No, it's my favorite
right.
thing ever, and it's
Oh, I love
it's
it. Awesome.
yeah,
Hold
no,
on,
it's
hold
the
on.
best
I'm
thing
gonna
ever.
wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm disconnecting. Okay, I did. Haha. Let's talk about it. No, just keep going.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
but
talk about your second favorite thing then.
and my second favorite thing is also option. I can't talk about it, um,
Okay,
but
just something you like.
something. Yeah, no. I had so much fun. I worked on a sketch show called the Amelia Gething Complex uh, a couple years ago, and it was the most fun I've ever had on a TV show. It was just because it was surreal and it was silly, and I loved the actors so much, and we had like a lot of free reign in terms of what we could do with the sketches, and it was just a freaking joy. We could be as goofy and as silly as we wanted, and that is like the sweet spot for me. You know what I mean? Is like that you can do what you want and you're working with people who have that same weirdo sensibility as you, who don't like, we had like, this is a perfect example, right? So we, my very favorite thing in the whole series was we were sitting in the production office, just like kind of brainstorming ideas and like thinking of stuff. And we had this really silly storyline where this guy falls in love with a cake. Because what basically it is he says he loves cake, and then his friend says, if you love cake so much, why don't you marry it? Like you do when you're a kid. So he marries the cake,
Hmm.
right? But
Mm.
then somebody comes in, the cake's ex-lover comes in and interrupts the wedding, and we were having a brainstorm about it, and I said, why don't we make it like the end of The Graduate, where they run out and they get on the bus and then they have all this regretful like kind of looks and faces and everything. And that's what we did. So she runs out with the cake, she gets on the bus, they're at the back of the bus, then we hear the Simon and Garfunkel kind of song kick in, and they've got these looks of regret on the face, her and this cake. It's just brilliant. So we could just do stuff like that. It's amazing.
Who played the cake?
She doesn't really like to brag about her acting abilities, but no, it was just we had the best props department, and it was just a really funny, huge cake. It was
That's
amazing.
so the do you like what's your favorite thing? Do you like to write alone or do you like to collaborate?
Oh, that is a tricky question. It depends on who you're collaborating with, because you have to
Mm,
like your talents, and this is like the same in any kind of art or like music, but anything. But your talents have to kind of complement each other, but you have to be able to listen to each other. Because I've had to work with people who just kind of railroad over your ideas, or they won't take them into consideration, or whatever else, and that's really tricky. Um, and also, it sucks when you have a partner who won't let you railroad them. So, so
right.
yeah,
Right.
I don't know. It's
Right.
tricky.
Be cooperative here. Let me be in charge. Everything will be fine. And
But if
I
you,
have
if
frozen again.
oh, yep,
That's
if
not my
you,
good side either. Seriously. Could we freeze in the other direction for God's sakes? Um,
I will say though, it can be absolute magic if you get really lucky and find the right person to collaborate with. I- you know, I, I've been collaborating with my dream comedy director for like a year now, and our chemistry is really good. And he's an amazing person to work with. He asks all the right questions, and he's just one of those people where we laugh, like through all of the entire process, and that is the most incredible thing. So I think it's about like finding the person whose sensibilities are similar to yours. I know that sounds easy, but like I had to do a lot of research to find, you know what I mean. So
Yes, I like I like doing things on my own, but collaboration. I mean, that just having that spirit of collaboration, finding a partner that you like is really good,
mm,
and just a sounding board is really good. Bouncing
yeah,
ideas off of
yeah.
each other is really good. A collaborative effort like that
Mhm,
can make a big difference. I certainly um, am always looking to kind of talk about ideas and stuff, with other people, to see, because we're all kind of our individual little monoliths, right? We need to share it out there with the universe. These things that you're working on that you can't
mhm,
talk about,
yeah.
the what is the lifespan? I mean, what is not the lifespan? What's kind of the time frame from when you get involved to production of something?
Oh, well, usually I get stuff commissioned before I write it. So, so that's a kind of different thing. There's a lot of people who write something and then it's like 5 years later, then
Right,
it gets
right. But
picked
you're
up and
actually
then they get
asked to
sent.
write for a specific thing.
Well, sometimes a little bit of both. So, like my favorite script, the one that's with South of the River, I wrote that 3 years ago, 2 years ago. I mean, it's been a long time coming though. It's just that I tried different versions of it and drama versus comedy and all, and it just never worked out. And then just one day, it just popped in my head. So how I could crack it, and then so now it's almost ready to pitch, and then who knows how long the process will be. It could be, we could get lucky and get it first round. It could be one of those things where we have to wait a while. So it's impossible to predict. Really
What
impossible. to predict.
what is the I don't know what's the what, like the WGA or whatever is in the
Yeah,
US,
yeah,
the Writers Guild. Is
yeah.
there a similar thing in England?
Yeah, yeah, the Writers Guild of Great Britain.
And what does it take to get in that? Like you have to
I
what are the
got in.
qualifications?
Well, because I sold loads of scripts right away. Because I went into, kind of like a strand, like after that writers retreat.
Uh-huh.
So I pitched an idea there, and then they commissioned it. So I wrote the script, and it got filmed, and then off the back of that, I went into other writers' rooms for ideas. They work differently here. You're not sitting
Mhm.
in a writers' room with like for 3 months with people. You go and you have what's called a story conference where they tell you about what the series will be like and what it'll feel like and who the characters are, and then it's horrific. You Everybody gives ideas, and then they pick them, and then you all have to bid against each other. Like you come up with like say 5 ideas,
Yep. Mhm.
and then everybody sends them in, and then they just pick and choose the ones they want. So it's awful because you're competing against your friends and stuff. It sucks.
And so they're giving you I guess, in the high concept of the
Hmm.
of the show. I guess
Yeah.
now they like to use the word log line. We used to use high
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
concepts, but
Log
they use
line's
log
fine,
line
or
now.
top line, whatever. Yeah.
Right, right. So they're pitching you that, and
Hmm.
then they want a group of people that then. So like I'm thinking like, is this in general how it's like? I'm thinking like the writing is so good on so many shows like Luther or the Sherlock Holmes stuff. I mean, anything that any of these long form British series. I mean, is that a typical way that they write in a lot of different things?
It's different with like nighttime drama and stuff like that, right? So
Okay.
I don't do nighttime drama. That's like not my thing. I write comedy, so it's
Right,
different.
right.
But
Oh, so
it's
this
one.
just may be a way to control you comedic kind of people.
Yeah, you can't handle us in a writer's room for like 3 months.
Exactly.
No, what it is like it's tricky because and this is what makes it so difficult to write in England versus America, right? Or I should say, so much harder, is because there's less opportunity here. Not only are there's less shows, but also
Right.
there's lots of shows where there's only one writer for the whole series, you know what I mean?
Mm, mhm.
Or maybe 3 writers, or and that's it, right? So, like, in America for a show, you might have 15 people in your writer's room, you know,
Right.
as well as
I'm just, I'm
assistants
just
and
thinking about some dude in his kilt in the top of his castle. I'm writing this damn show. Oh, no, where did I go with that accent? Oh boy. Yeah,
I
nobody
don't
watch
know.
this, please.
I've never
Look,
been to that place, you know?
I'm going to stick to a Russian accent. Don't do that too bad. Pretty good at the Russian accent. Never fails
Okay.
me. The no, but I just that lone writer, like
Yeah,
that's fine, but like, and I guess the big thing in America now. And please, showrunners, I do want you to come on the show, so I'm not talking bad about you, but at all. But the big thing now in America is like the showrunner,
yeah,
like what I mean? Like they run the whole show.
yeah.
So I think that's the equivalent to the single writer today, and that's interesting when it comes to collaboration and decision making. We have a nonprofit, and we definitely have this open open structure, to the organization. It's flat management and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, in creativity, especially, like, I just don't know how you would make a film without a director. Like, in some egalitarian universe that we all strive to have, which I think we should, you do kind of have to have a boss once in a while. What is it like to have, like, when you write something and then it's submitted and it comes back and it's just like, wait, that's not even what I wrote. Does that happen?
Well, I can only speak from my experience, obviously, and it depends on how closely you work with a script editor and how many turnarounds you get. You know, like how many chances you get to change the lines and whatever else. Sometimes, like if things are like on some of the shows that have a lot more episodes, things are so tight that they just give you one chance to to make it good, and then they just change it all, or something might happen where one of the characters might be ill, or like whatever it is, and then they've got to change stuff. But I've been lucky. I haven't found huge changes in anything, but I am also aware that we see a lot more of that. And I'm going on what people say, not my own experience in LA, but that a lot will change from the draft that you write,
Yeah.
the final draft that you
Well, I
write,
don't have any experience in LA
and
other
then
than
what goes on.
what writers have told me, but
Yeah.
but I do think that maybe we should do a collab on a comedic girlfriend in a coma Morrissey sketch or something.
Sounds
You
good.
have to be my age, roughly,
She's not, there's no,
or
there's, well, she's shit out of luck if she gets into a coma during COVID, because there's no beds available.
oh
So I
my
don't know,
God,
like,
yeah, don't get into a
she's just
car
gonna
wreck.
have to be
Oh,
in her
geez.
girlfriend in a coma in her living room, because that's the way
Poor
it's gonna have to
Morrissey.
be,
I don't
isn't
even
it?
know what he
So
does. I don't even know what he does during COVID, the poor
he
guy,
votes
the
for
way he's
Brexit.
so
That's what
depressed.
I
He
don't know.
votes for Breck.
He
Oh,
votes for Brexit. That's what he
shocker.
does in his spare time.
Shocker.
So
Shocker, Morrissey. Shocker. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm not going to I'm not going to say his name. Um, because that wouldn't be fair. Because this is my word against his. But I did work. I used to work as a operations manager for a concert sound company, and a concert sound company. What that means is we do the front of house and, well, and the monitor too. But we provide all the speakers for
yeah.
an outdoor festival or whatever, right? The front of house setup, and we would do the monitor mix too. But the sorry, I got lost in that world of music for a second. What was I saying? Morrissey and front of house and
And you were saying
sound.
somebody else who's a jerk. You were about to spill the tea
Oh
on
yes,
somebody.
yes. So well, I've met a few musicians that are jerks, but this particular one was somebody that I really liked. Like,
Yeah.
respected their music, and you know what I mean. Like, I just had liked them for a long time, and I'm like, I went to their show specifically because I could get backstage. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't always go to our shows, but I went in on that load in and wanted to, and didn't necessarily want to meet him, but just wanted to watch the show. And man, he was just because it was a private show,
Oh, right. Yeah.
and oh, he was just a dick, like just a prima donna. Like, I'm like,
Mm,
I really, I just wanted to go up on stage and go like, dude, you're not that big a deal,
mm,
like really, nobody's that big of a deal that you can get away with acting like a prima donna in front of your audience.
mhm.
Um, And yeah, I was shocked. I wouldn't do that
That sucks,
you know,
man.
in front of
That
anybody.
sucks. You know what though? Sometimes you get like amazing experiences. Because my best experience was because you don't understand. Since I was like 7, I've been obsessed with the monkeys, like obsessed, right? Like used to run a fan club, obsessed. And no joke. And when I was about 22, I was in Atlanta, and Peter Tork was doing a show there at this tiny, tiny place, right? And I got off work early, and it was just in the middle of nowhere, this little bar. And I got there early, and he was there, and I was like freaking out, right? I was like, okay, calm down. You know, like when you see somebody who you really, really love, and you're like, okay, just calm the
Mhm,
fuck down,
mhm,
you
mhm.
psycho, calm down. So I went to the bathroom, I was like, calm myself down, calm myself down. And I came back out, and it was just me, him, and then a journalist from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, which is like their, the city paper or whatever. So they're sitting in a booth, and then I sit at the booth right behind them, and there's like a very high wall, like a booth wall between us. And I'm just sitting there going, should I have a drink? Should I not have a drink? Just sit here and listen. And he was interviewing Peter Tork, right? And I started laughing because I knew the answers to all the questions. And so Peter Tork gets on his knees, and he turns around and he goes, "What's so funny?" And I said, "I know the answers to all these questions." And he said, "Oh, do you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, why don't you finish the interview for me?" So I went, "Okay." And I was like, "Okay, Peter Tork." And I sat at the table and then finished the interview for the journalist. And he sat there like, "Oh my God." And that was the beginning of like a 20-year friendship. It was
With
amazing.
Peter Tork.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. That is
Yeah.
really cool.
Do you know
Oh
what?
my gosh.
He was the kindest. Like he was so sweet. Like because like I said, I was absolutely I'm still obsessed with the monkeys. But
Mhm.
my best friend was it was Pete. Like it was Peter for her. You know what I mean? And before she got a chance to meet him, when he was over here at the cavern, because I used to work at the cavern, and he was over here at the cavern, and you know what he did? He drew on a piece of paper and just put "Hi, Missy" and everything, and we took a picture and sent it to her. She was back in the States. And he used to do stuff like that. And then once he gave us backstage passes and stuff so that she could meet him. And when he met her, he just went, "Missy, I have heard so much about you, and you should have seen her face." He was just the kindest, most amazing person. I just loved him so much. Still do. It's just a shame he's gone. But so sometimes you get an amazing story, like sometimes people can be so generous and kind, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, that, so it's an interesting thing to say in that I did not realize that Peter Tork had passed away.
Oh,
I
sorry.
No, that's okay. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
fine. I knew Davy Jones had passed away,
Mm.
but that would leave what, Mickey Dolenz
Mickey and Mike. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Mike, and Mike's
Yeah.
mom invented whiteout, everybody,
That's
just in
right.
case
Yeah.
you didn't know
Yeah.
that. Um, and, and typewriters were never this no or screenwriters were never the same. The, but yeah, that's interesting. The monkeys, um, if you're not familiar with the monkeys out there, if you're watching this program, the monkeys were, I guess, were I'm trying to think of other kind of bands that were like that, because in so many ways the monkeys are a reaction to the pop music of the time, in a lot of ways, like the reaction to boy bands that would come with kind of more boy bands, but the monkeys were never a parody, I don't think, um but they were definitely, um characters, right? You know what I mean? That were um, fictional, but they had a popular music career. It's kind of like Gorillas, in the sense that Gorillas has all these musicians, but the characters are were
Yeah.
animated.
That's
So
yeah. That's yeah. You know what Mickey always says that it's like if Leonard Nimoy became a Vulcan. That's like what it's like. You know what I mean? That he started off as characters that became, a
rock
band because
stars or
they had
music
already been
stars, pop
they had
stars.
already been musicians, except Mickey. He didn't play the drums before, but Davey had already been on. He had been on Broadway, and Peter and Mike had been in bands. You know what? We should probably get off this topic because I when I get into psycho fan mode, it's like I can
Okay.
talk
Well,
the
I
ears
will say
off
this.
anyone.
Yes.
I
Well, it's
love
always
fanboy.
if Mike Nesmith or Mickey Dolans want to come on the show, I promise that I will not let Amanda anywhere near it. So just letting you guys know. Um, I, uh, I definitely try to whenever I meet somebody, try to be like, don't fanboy, don't fanboy, don't fanboy, don't fanboy. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah,
Like
no, you
just
can
they're
say
just
you
you know
can't say I teach people, I teach writers about this, like what to do when you run into somebody famous in the line at Starbucks or whatever else. And like
hmm
there's all kinds of tips on how like to make a good impression where you'll be memorable versus all of the
right.
fanboys and fangirls. And it's like you have to think about I know it's hard because your brain doesn't think in that moment, does it? But
hmm
you have to think about what is the stuff that they hear from 30 people every day as soon as they leave their house, and
You
then
know what?
don't
One
say
hundred percent.
anything like that. It's important to like
100%, Amanda. 100%. With my friends that are celebrities in that
yeah,
sense, the number one and most important thing I think that brings value that you can bring value to a friendship, even with somebody that's a
yeah,
celebrity, is to just be their friend. Don't want it's okay to ask or want something. I
yeah.
mean, those things come up, but really just for don't just remember they're a person and just be their friend, because they will be so appreciative of the fact that you didn't call them first thing in the morning with the 20 things that you want to work on, because that is what they get all day. And it does get frustrating, I'm sure. And so, yeah, if you meet them, I've met dozens and dozens and dozens of celebrities because when I was in the music business too. And yeah, no, just treat them like
It's that
regular people. And
that is a perfect thing to say because I don't think people realize, especially if you're not in the business, you don't see it every day. You don't realize that from the time they get up till the time they go to bed, they are asked for stuff. From
all day
people who
long.
want something from them. So I think if you want to connect with somebody, it's really important to connect with them as a person. I usually recommend you find a bridge, right? And I always use Edgar Wright as a perfect example, right? So every celebrity has a thing that they're passionate about or like a thing that
Right.
they don't really talk. And his thing is like Korean and like Indonesian martial arts films, right? And Nutty Buddies, the Cornettos as well. Like that's another thing. If I was going to talk to Keanu Reeves, I talk about whether Shakespeare is really the author of what all the works that are credited with him, because that's what he's obsessed with, right? So there's
Really?
always yeah, yeah. So there's always something that you
Nice.
can like figure out, right? And if you panic and you don't know enough about them or whatever else, connecting with them like on a person, like a great thing to ask somebody, and they never ever get asked this, and I'll bet Rev that you will totally agree with this, is I've been watching your career for a long time. Your work means a lot to me. Obviously they've heard that loads, but then go, but I know that behind the scenes you probably had to put in a million years of hard work that was unrecognized. And sometimes I feel like I'm never going to make it or whatever. How did you get over those moments? What did you do when you were in those really dark moments where you wanted to give up? And it's that kind of thing, connecting with them on stuff that people don't generally ask them about. You know what I mean? Caring, giving a shit who they are as people. That's the kind of stuff that really makes a difference, I think.
Yeah, and I know that I can get very like granular and deep onto the celebrity stuff, and I do want to kind of say we've been on for 43 minutes. It went fast. The kind of the vision of this program is to bring voices that don't normally get heard, like we had on the most recent episode. We had a couple of amazing Latina, a screenwriter and a filmmaker,
Mm,
and they're actually both pretty successful, but the underrepresentation of Latinas in Hollywood is huge.
yeah,
So one, to be able to show successful uh, people in Hollywood that aren't the norm, is something that I very much like doing. But when I am talking about celebrities or searching for celebrities to come on the show, and we've always got a few kind of waiting in the wings, but man, they're hard to get time commitments from and everything else.
yeah,
But what they do is they raise the profile of the program. The profile of the program gets raised, and more people get to see the other interesting people, that I really like to bring on the show. This program at this time for the UK is exactly the same thing, that I want to do. I want to be able to get kind of connected into the entertainment industry, in Great Britain, and make connections. So we can find people in England that in the UK that voices, should be heard, right? So,
Oh
um,
yeah, no,
yeah,
I totally agree with that. And like speaking as, somebody who's autistic, representations like not only of fellow autistic people, but like of disabled people in general are pretty horrific. And the conversation has only just begun. You know what I mean? They estimate that up to 25% of the population has a disability of some kind or another, and
oh
we're like
sure,
point 0.05% of behind the scenes and whatever else. And so I think like any type of increase in representation and voices that aren't heard is only a good thing. And also it adds to the richness of stories because we're seeing
mm,
experiences and things that we don't generally get to see. And that sweet spot of like the best type of work, whether it's music, whether it's TV, whether it's writing books, whatever it is, the sweet spot is finding the universal experience but putting it in a world you haven't ever seen before. That is what where the magic is. And that's why, like, if we increase the representation and allow space for people and voices that we haven't seen before, we expose ourselves to so many cool stories. Well, it's like, why would you not want to be why would you not want more representation? Because you're just cutting yourself off from amazing stories and experiences.
yeah. I mean, even from a financial point of view, for
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
the producers and the production companies and everything. I mean, you're opening yourself up to just a wider audience. I think you're
Yep.
opening yourself up to a broader audience too, because I certainly, like uh, like programs. I'm only laughing because the executive producer, she likes from she's younger than I am, but she likes a show in the States. Hey Nazim, called Martin, and
Wait,
with
it's
Martin
from the
Lawrence.
90s. Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah.
remember that show. Yeah.
And she's like,
Martin.
when we were first together, she's like, I cannot find, this was like 10 years ago. I can't find like any episodes of Martin. I'm like, oh, well, here you go. And she's like, wait, how did you know that? I'm like, she's like, wait, you like Martin? I'm like, yeah, I do. It's really funny, but I mean, because especially back in the 90s and before, it was like, Good Times and the Jeffersons that we had here, those shows were so rare, and they thought, oh, white people aren't going to watch it. No, people watch stuff if it's funny. Doesn't matter, what it is. If it's funny, people will watch it. So having that diversity is interesting. And the other thing, Nazim is in Milan, by the way. How you doing, buddy? Um, Amanda's in the north of England, so she doesn't have nearly the weather probably, or the deliciousness of flavor of food that
Oh
you
my
do,
God,
Nazim.
Italian
I'm just
food is
mentioning that.
insane. It's so good.
But the yeah, the richness of other cultures and everything. I find it interesting that when I watch shows in England about let's say the tenements that you guys have, your public housing, or your low
Mm,
income housing, and it's filled with people with thick accents and
mhm,
from far away places or
mhm.
whatever. But I have a friend who is Indian. Actually, wait a minute. She's a Sikh, actually.
Yeah.
And in England, if you look like an Indian or a Sikh or a Pakistani, um, you are really you can be racism is very rampant
Yeah.
with obviously there's Afro Caribbeans and things there as well, but the racism can manifest itself in different ways. But all I'm saying all that for is I don't want to bring a dialogue up about that per se. Anytime somebody wants to, that'd be great. But it's the richness of these cultures that really make, I think, British, like, for God's sakes, like um like Luther, and like getting to know the lives of people that other than pasty white royalty is
Mm,
really awesome because it's very
agreed.
diverse in England.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, I live in a super diverse area. I love it. There's all kinds of cool stuff to do here. I don't know if I've ever lived in such. I don't know how many areas are as diverse as the place I live right now. So it's awesome.
Nazim says, I love going to the Notting Hill Carnival. Amazing event. Um, all I know about Notting Hill is the movie with Oh, he's a good-looking fellow. What is his name?
Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant. Hugh
Yeah,
Grant?
yeah,
Yes.
and Julia Roberts. Julia
Julia
Roberts.
Roberts.
Yeah, and
Very
she
true.
really actually I watched that again for the first time, like a couple months ago, and she really mistreats him. Like, and he keeps taking her back. I was cringing. I was watching it like behind my hand, going, "Oh my god!" You know, like when you have a friend who dates an asshole, and you're like, "Stop dating them,
Right.
stop dating them." It was
Unless
like
it's Morrissey, because I want free tickets.
that.
Sorry, Mr. Morrissey. I can't come to your show, because my girlfriend's in a coma. But anyway, the Carnival in London is fantastic. Nazim, dude, listen, we all have to get together for a meetup in, I don't know, maybe Italy's kind of, I have, so we need to pick a central location to um, Australia, England, maybe Malaysia. Malaysia's cheap and really cool. So, everybody that I've met, I think Malaysia would be a good meeting place. But anyway, once this COVID stuff's over, folks, we need to have a meetup somewhere. And anytime anybody wants to come to Chicago, if you're British and you want to learn an American accent, it's the place to go. Because what they used to do back when there were only three networks, Amanda, here in the States, you guys
Yeah.
have only had one for a long time practically. But that would be great, Nazim. I agree. The networks would have a kind of a development program where their little local stations you could move up. You could move up from Bath to somewhere in suburban London or something, and then to BBC Five, and then to BBC or whatever. Well, the same way in America, right? Local station to the national. And what they would do is, let's say you were a really good anchor person, but you were from the South or you were from New York, especially New York. They send you to Chicago for a couple of years, so you lose your accent. So any Brits that want to come to America to learn an accent, come to Chicago, because we
But I
don't
was going
talk
to say
like
there's a
this.
strong accent there, though. I was going to
Yeah,
say the
but
Bulls, the
the
Bears.
thing is,
You know.
the only people that talk like they're from Chicago, okay, hold on, they have a mustache, okay,
Yeah.
like you got a
Polish
mustache, all right,
sausage, dick.
and
Yeah.
and they're a cop, and they're white.
Yeah.
Nobody talks like this unless they're a cop, maybe a firefighter, and they're white. Those are the only people that talk like this from Chicago. The rest of us, we have great dictation. We're very, very, very good speakers. So, yes, you can come here and just get a flat, and they're all Cubs fans. Oh, Nazim, don't go into Cubs fans with me. I'm not a Cubs fan. So, yes, so come to America. Where did you live in America?
Baltimore. I'm a Baltimore girl, and I lived in upstate New York as well, and I lived in Virginia, and I lived in Atlanta. So yeah, so that's the FBI on my doorstep now. Um,
Yes.
but no. I guess I moved like 20 times, so I moved a lot.
Oh, you're one. I'm very familiar with that.
Yeah, but
Very,
Baltimore's
very
the place
familiar.
I lived. Baltimore's the place I lived most. The Go O's and all that. So
The
yeah,
Orioles. The
yeah.
Orioles. Yeah, I loved the Orioles when I was a kid.
Mm. Yeah. Oh my
Uh,
God, are you kidding? I used to go to their games, not very often, but holy cow, yeah, it was fantastic. It was
I
really good. I love baseball.
ah oh well, yes. I mean, not a cricket fan,
Nah, boring.
and long. Do you miss America? Says Nazim.
There's things about America I miss. I miss my best friend. Like I miss, there's family I miss, obviously. I haven't been back in like 12 years, I think.
Mm,
So, yeah, I've been back in a really long time. I miss my best friend. I have not seen her like in real life in
mm-hmm.
12 years.
Mm,
That is harsh.
yeah,
So, yeah.
it is. But thank goodness we've got all this video stuff now. At least the anybody in the UK, I will be happy to do my show from London. If you want to put me up in a flat, I'd be perfectly happy to leave America anytime anybody wants to take me. We're doing better in America, but we have a long way to go. So preferably Bora Bora with maybe 5 million in my bank account. Yeah, I'll be good. So sorry, I'm just, because, he asked you if you missed America, and I miss America. I miss the America that we need to be. That's actually the America that I
Yeah, like
miss.
yeah, every time I go back, a disaster happens. Like last time was when was all the flooding, and there was a big storm, and there was all this flooding that took out bridges, so I couldn't actually stay where was supposed to stay. And then the time before that was I brought my baby daddy with me, and I told him about. I was like, oh my god, we have to go to Friendlies. You remember Friendlies? Do they still have
Yes, the ice
Friendlies?
cream place. Yes,
I
they had those in
freaking
the
love
East. Yes.
Friendlies. You go, oh my god, I
Yes.
love Friendlies. And I was like, we have to go, right? So we went, and we ended up being in a hostage situation that we didn't know was
What?
occurring. We walked. So what happened? We went. I was like, we have to go to this place, right? I need to get my sampler, which is like 4 scoops of ice cream. It's amazing. I always have the same one every time. And I was like, very excited. Oh god, we're in Florida. And another time, by the way, we got in a car accident. So we got hit by some old
Wait, wait,
people,
wait,
but that
wait,
was
wait,
a
wait.
different.
Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. I came, I went to Friendly's ice cream with my baby
Yeah,
daddy.
yeah,
Right, baby daddy had me right there. So,
yeah.
and it just in terms of writing, and then we were
In a hostage
involved
situation.
in a hostage situation. I
Well,
mean,
what
if
happened?
that is
It
not the
wasn't.
stuff of comedy writing,
It
I don't
wasn't
know what
tech.
is.
It wasn't technically a hostage situation, but it kind of was. So we went in, and like how they always have the to go window, right? You go, there's a little
Uh huh.
porch, and you can get like ice cream and to go, and then you go through, and then they've got the regular restaurant, right? So we went in, and when we went in, the porch was covered in broken glass, and the sign was down, and we didn't think anything of it. I thought it had just fallen off the. I just thought it had fallen off the wall, right? So we stepped
Mm-hmm.
over the glass, and we went into the restaurant, and there was nobody there, and we're like, what is going on? So we sat down. We're like, I guess I'll just sit down, right? So we sat at a booth, and then we noticed that there were people in the kitchen, like the kit, because it's an open kitchen area, right? Like with a counter, and there's nothing blocking the view. And we noticed they were all crouched down on the ground, and we're like, what is going on?
Oh my
So I
gosh!
just walked over. I was like, because obviously your brain doesn't think, oh,
Right.
somebody's with a gun over there. You know what I mean? So I just
This is how
walked
they make the
over,
ice cream, apparently.
and I was like, obviously, like, well, where is the manager? Like, what's going on? We've been sitting up. No, I wasn't like that because I was a waitress for 9 years. So I'm very, very good with like people who work in restaurants. But I was like, is everything like, what's going on? And she was like, get down. Are you? She's whispering. She's like, are you crazy? Get down. And I was like, so I got down and I was like, what is going on? And she's like, there's a guy with a gun outside who says he's going to shoot everybody. And I was like,
Oh
oh my god.
wow!
So, so then so obviously my baby daddy is still sitting in the booth wondering what's going on because he can't hear, right? Because I'm like, so I had to crawl back. This is at the Friendlies, hello. And I had to crawl back and go, get down. And so then we hid under the booth until the guy was just outside, and he had already shown a knife, and he had knocked the stuff off, and he was shouting he had a gun, and he was just pacing outside. We just walked right past him into the restaurant, didn't even see him. So we just waited there till, and then the police came, and but that's the kind
Wow.
of stuff that happens when I go to America. So that's why I haven't been back
Well,
in
stay
4 years.
away. Stay away. I mean, whew, it's a good thing we shipped you back.
Yeah.
But no, I mean seriously, like I mean that needs to be a skit right there. I mean,
Yeah, I've written it as a short. You know what I mean? I have actually another
oh
time. I'll tell
God,
you this real quick.
Amanda, I'm
Sorry.
seeing myself in your shows again.
No, no, no. Like
Please,
I have to
Amanda.
tell you this. This is a really good one as well. This was another time I came to visit, and I helped my friend move from Georgia to Baltimore, right? And we got we had a U-Haul, and it was me and her in her car, and her dad, who was a Marine Corps drill
Oh wait,
sergeant,
hang
young
on.
vet.
Sorry, hang on.
Yeah,
Hold the thought because we
yeah.
have 50 seconds. Because what I want to do is we're
Oh,
gonna
okay.
no, we're okay. We can go longer, but we're gonna do a wrap for Instagram because I can post this on Instagram up to an hour. So and I
Okay.
have to like go into the editing software, and you know how like we're on top
Say
of
no
each other
more.
on the side, right?
Say no
So
more.
this has been the big interview with screenwriter Amanda Graham, who's across the pond in England. I've had a wonderful time so far. We are going to continue this story a little bit. So if you want to see the continuation, go to Habs TV and you'll be able to see it. Amanda, it was fantastic. I really appreciated having you here.
Been absolutely amazing, Rev. Thank you so much.
You are quite welcome. We'll get the peace be with you and namaste.
Namaste.
All right, and then we're back. So we didn't go anywhere. We can just keep talking. So anyway, finish your story.
Right. So we're driving. So her dad is the Marine Corps drill sergeant, Nam vet, and he's driving the U-Haul, and then we're driving in her car behind him, and we break down, and we're in the middle of nowhere, like in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina, and it's getting to be dark. Right. It's like sunset, and we're in one of those kind of big, kind of trucker stop places, where they
Mm-hmm.
sell everything. And anyways, and so he gets to talking to these two rednecks, and they're like, we don't know what he's saying because we're like kind of far away, but they're talking. And then her dad comes over and is like, "Oh, right. Well, we're going to go to their place. They own a junkyard, and we're good. They know exactly what's wrong with the truck, and then we'll just fix the part. They're just going to help us." So we were like, "Nice one." So now it's dark, okay, and we're in. We hobbled the truck over to. It's only a mile or two down the road, but you have to understand. We went down this really long dirt road, and then there was a big huge fence, like imagine a compound, right? A big compound, and you can't see over the fence. We drive through, they open these gates, right? Can't see who's opened them. They open these gates, pitch black. We go in and we stop, and then the gates close behind us, and then out of nowhere come two people in ATVs, the four-wheelers with balaclavas on, and they come round the corner, and they stop probably 20 feet away from us, and we were all like, "What's going on?" Now, we had left the car back at the gas station. We were just in the hobbled truck, right? Because they needed to see what the engine was like or whatever. Anyways, I had never seen her dad scared before because he was a
Uh-oh.
total badass. And all he said was, so they motioned for him to get out of the car. And he said, "You girls lock the door behind me. And if anything happens to me, get out of here." And then he left to get the part of the car. And we sat there going, "Oh my God, what should we do?" Obviously this is before like mobile phones or like any of that kind of stuff. And it was
Mm-hmm.
horrific. I was probably 20. I wasn't a baby. I was like 22, 23, maybe a little older, but in the pitch black in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina. And then we waited for what seemed like forever. And then he came back and hopped in the truck and was like, "Great, okay, we've got the part. We're going to take it back to the truck or to the gas station, and then we're going to fix it." And then they did, and it was great. But honestly, I have never been so terrified, because why the balaclavas? That's what I don't get. I don't know if they just did it because it was hilarious to them. It was summer, right? So there wasn't a need for it. But yeah, so this is the kind of stuff that happens every time I go back to America.
Yeah, I would say stay away for sure.
Sorry, I've just like told two huge long stories, but
No,
yeah.
no, no. That is definitely what we have been here for. I put your Twitter up on my screen back there.
Oh
The
yeah, yeah, that's me.
so it's AG Comedy
Yeah.
on Twitter. And have you? How much have you been able to? Have you sold anything in the States? I mean, since you've been back in England, or?
You mean what, scripts and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I've got two scripts that are optioned in the UK, and then the big one is for the American audience. So yeah.
Oh, nice. Nazim says, Amanda, if you come to visit in Italy, I will get my mafia friends to give you a nice welcome. And
Okay. Molto
look,
bene. Yes, please.
Nazim. I mean, she could come to New York for that. I mean, really, she don't have to go to Italy. And anyway, our mobsters over here in New York, New York mobsters, they're going to kick an Italian mobster's ass. I mean, seriously, the only thing I would be worried about would be the Yakuza, but they're in Japan, so we're good.
No, I
I
love
have
the
a
movie. It's beautiful.
I have a long deceased uncle who was connected, but I don't think he was a made man or anything. But he
Mm.
he he, he dabbled in the Italian mafia in the United States, in Florida. My wife made me an offer I could not refuse. You know what? That's what people say to me, Nazim. They're like, "Revolution, how come you're always with such attractive people? As partners or whatever." I'm like, well, because I know something that they did that was very, very bad, and I've pretty much told them that if they want to keep it a secret, you got to stay with me. So I know how that works.
I've never gone the sexual blackmail route before, but I don't know.
Oh, no,
I'm
no, no, I
still
didn't I
young.
didn't I didn't bring sex up at all, I mean, they could have done a lot of other bad things, murder somebody or something is, just find a very, very attractive, recent, witness a murder done by somebody very attractively. Wow, where did this go? But it's all about writing.
Is that how bad online dating is that you have to like blackmail murderers? You know what?
Oh
I
my
believe that.
god.
I believe that because the horror
I think we
stories.
yes. I think we I th- you know, my buddy Vanya and I talked about this on our program. She's a comedian too. It's like that fine line of like what's funny and what's hurtful is you know can be very difficult to maneuver around in the world. So hopefully we have only offended a handful of people this evening and not entire continents or anything
Oh, I
with
hope not.
this
Jeez.
program.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the conversation's been pretty mild. You know what I mean? So this is the least I've
I don't even
sworn ever.
Yeah, I was going to say you asked even if you could
Yeah.
swear and you
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't even hear like one. I didn't even you didn't even go like you didn't even say bloody once.
No.
And I mean
Oh wait, just fuck, 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 fuck. Okay. Okay,
there
that's
you go.
better. That's better. Okay,
Oh, get it
that's
out,
widen out the
get it out.
ratio. So yeah, yeah.
Uh, Oh my goodness. This is technically at least this won't be on Instagram, but yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'll do it after the show. How long have you been living in the UK, Amanda? Wait a minute. 23 years, I think,
I think
since
23
she
years.
came
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's from the UK originally.
Yep.
Then she went to America, like Eddie Murphy, and then came back.
Yeah. It was just like that. I wore a lot of velvet. Yeah, just like Eddie Murphy said. Yeah.
Oh,
And
there might be I think there's a revival. I think there's
I
a
haven't
movie in the
seen the
works.
second one. I'm scared to see the second one because I love the first one so much, and so I've just decided to leave it.
To leave it.
You know.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
that's the best thing to do with a
Yeah.
Matrix 2, Matrix 3. Wow, I'm on move 27. Is that what you're talking about? I did it the other day, a while ago actually. How many times I've moved
Yeah.
and let's just put it this way, by the time I graduated high school, I'd gone to 13 different schools.
Okay. You. Oh yeah. No,
That's
that's
only
about. You
12
mean from?
grades. That's only 12
Yeah.
grades and
Yeah.
13 schools.
Yeah. Only a little bit behind you. I went. I think it was 10. I think for me, I had school for a year and a half, and then another school for a year and a half, and then but different schools every other time. It's
Well,
brutal.
we really ran the gamut this afternoon and this evening. I have oh yeah, I have a 8-year-old now to go pick up in about 20 minutes at his school. So pros and
All
cons
right.
of living in the UK. Okay, so I'm going to go first.
Okay.
Pros and cons of living in the UK. Not in America. Everybody speaks English. Okay, cons. Dreary. Um, People from Wales. Um, Bad food. No, I love Welsh people, by the way. And they get fries and chips mixed up. I mean, I don't know. Well, let's hear from Amanda, who actually lives there.
Pros: free healthcare. Um,
Ooh, cha-ching.
uh, yeah. I would say I prefer like the media over here. We don't have all the commercials. Like 15 commercial breaks, like during a TV show, which drives me mad. Cons: definitely the weather. And also, like, nobody gives a crap when the politicians are awful. They just keep voting them in. It drives me absolutely bananas. Like the Tories keep getting in. even though the economy has been in the tank for 10 years. You know what I mean? Like everything is so much worse, and
Hmm.
they still get voted. And there, it's like there is no political action over here. Not really, not compared to America. You know what I mean? Like, and that
Well,
drives
yeah.
me mad. Um, but
I mean,
but no,
can
I
you
love the
imagine?
culture.
Can you imagine the the delousing of Downing Street there when Boris Johnson is gone? I mean, they
Oh
might as
my
well just
God.
rehab the whole
I think
place.
just burn it down and start from the beginning because, well,
Woo!
I think that chances are they will probably accomplish that on their own, really. So,
Yes, 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 yes,
time will
yes.
tell.
I
But
just
no, the food is good. The food is
Boris just
amazing.
doesn't seem very hygienic to me.
Oh,
The
I'd rather not think about it. But the food is really good here, actually. The food is amazing.
is
Like
it? Oh,
it's
good,
only like people who were here in the 1970s, like who had the food here. Like, but no, it's like a food is gorgeous here. I love British
good.
food, and yeah, I love it.
And the all right. Well, let's do this, Amanda.
Mm.
If you had fun,
Mhm.
um, please would definitely love to have you come back. And what I think might be fun is if you have any other creative friends and
Yeah.
you want to do like a round table or something sometime.
Oh God, yeah.
Um,
I already had somebody already popped in my mind who would be absolutely the funniest person I know. So yeah, that would be hilarious.
Fantastic. That
Yeah.
that would be good. We could also try. I love St. John's in London. Amazing UK food. We could also try a UK edition of a show I did a while back. I'm going to do it with Vanya here in the States again, but it's called Could You what did Could You Fall in Love with a Robot? And then we have a couple of comedians,
Ooh.
a couple of regular people, a couple, I think we had a couple of actors. We had Mark, who's the CEO of Haps, and we had a comedian and myself. And that was just a blast, a themed
Mm.
type thing. Could you fall in love with a robot was just perfect. So, but and that can be done again, for a different audience. But do those kind of things once in a while are a blast. Take a theme and talk about it. It's just a really fun idea too. So,
Oh God, yeah,
thank you,
that's a
Nazim.
super cool idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So round up some friends and let me know. Let's put something together. I really want to get in this time slot, which we fired off at what, 7 your time?
No, we were late, weren't we? About 10 minutes late, something
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
but I mean, it was
Yeah.
the 7 o'clock hour though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that works for me because I don't have to pick my the associate producer up until 3 p.m. my time. So yeah, let's definitely do this again. Anybody that is watching this around the world, this is Haps TV. My name is Revolution McInnes. This is a live streaming platform where you can get paid to live stream, meaning that your friends can sponsor you and then you get paid like Patreon in some ways. But you can also give some coins that can be 50 cents. I don't know. I think they got $50, even more than that. You can drop some coins and you can even do that after the show. But the cool thing is, become a member of HAPS and start live streaming yourself. It is an amazing, connected community.
Mm.
And lots of us collaborate together. It's a lot of fun. And I think people would enjoy HAPS over there. So I'm trying to get, we have quite a few English folks that are on HAPS, but I'm trying to kind of get this early evening thing going in the
Yeah.
UK. So
Yeah. No, it's really cool. I love this. And I've never been on this platform before, so I'm intensely curious now. So I'm going to have a little look around and see.
yeah, well, I have a
Yeah.
look, and I keep telling everybody, I'm happy to produce your first couple of shows for you if you want to start doing something on here. So always open to doing that.
Sweet. That sounds fun.
All
I've had
right.
so much
Well, this,
fun.
yeah, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Anybody watching this, Amanda Graham, comedy writer, she's in the UK. She knows English. She knows how to spell aluminium, if not how to pronounce it. And we will we, we will be looking forward to these two projects you have, and when those come out, getting updated about it.
Mm,
And I think that I look forward to that for sure.
mhm.
Um, Join us on Habs TV. I'm going to do a quick out, and we'll do our peace be with you and namaste again. But Amanda, I'll let you wrap it on your end of the pond, over your side of the pond over there.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's been absolutely great, and thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it because time is the one resource we can't ever get back. So I really appreciate your time, and I hope you found something valuable, and that you have a lovely rest of the day. And thank you
Awesome,
very much,
Amanda.
Rev, for having me. I appreciate it. It was really fun.
Oh, good. Thanks for joining us, and
Yeah.
we will talk some more. Stay right here with me, and we'll talk after the show.
Okay.
Everybody, RevMac Live. Find me on all the socials at RevMac Live. Hope you enjoyed the show as well. Peace be with you, and